Imagine a remote, windswept island, miles from civilization. An island so isolated that the sea is the only road in or out. On that island stands a lighthouse, tall, unyielding, and exposed to the full force of the North Atlantic. For years, its light cut through darkness and storm, guiding ships safely through one of the most dangerous stretches of water in the world. Now imagine that light goes dark. No warning, no explanation, no replacement, and the men responsible for keeping it burning vanish without a trace. This is the enduring, chilling mystery of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers, a story that has haunted sailors, investigators, and historians for more than a century. A tale of 3 experienced men swallowed by the sea, or perhaps something far more sinister. Because whatever happened on that island didn't just take their lives, it erased their final moments. The Flannan Isles sit far off the west coast of Scotland, a cluster of barren, jagged rocks rising abruptly from the Atlantic. There are no trees, no natural shelter, no permanent inhabitants. For centuries, sailors avoided the area whenever possible. Hidden reefs and unpredictable seas made it a nightmare to navigate, especially in poor weather. But by the late 1800s, shipping traffic had increased dramatically. Avoidance was no longer an option. Ships needed a warning. So in 1899, engineers built a lighthouse on Island Moor, the largest of the islands. It was a modern structure for its time. Strong stone walls, iron railings, and living quarters designed to withstand constant punishment from wind and water. But strength doesn't mean comfort. Life on Island Moor was isolating in a way few people ever experience. No towns, no neighbors, no escape. Just the sea, the wind, and the relentless responsibility of keeping the light alive. 3 men were assigned to the lighthouse in December of 1900. James Ducat, 43 years old, was the principal keeper. A veteran of lighthouse service, steady, reliable, a family man. Thomas Marshall, 28, served as the second assistant, younger, methodical, and known for following procedure closely. Donald MacArthur, 40, was an occasional keeper filling in temporarily. Physically powerful, experienced, and known for his intensity. These were not reckless men. They were not inexperienced. They were not strangers to danger or isolation. Their days followed rigid routines, cleaning lenses, maintaining equipment, logging weather conditions, preparing the light for nightfall. Routine mattered, because mistakes out here could kill. And then, on December 26, 1900, something broke that routine entirely. On that afternoon, the lighthouse tender Hesperus made its routine journey to the Flannan Isles. On board was Joseph Moore, a relief keeper scheduled to rotate into duty. As the ship approached Island Moor, something immediately felt wrong. The lighthouse was dark. At that time of year, darkness fell early. The light should have been burning. No one appeared at the landing area. No movement could be seen near the tower. No response came from the island. Captain Harvey, a seasoned seaman, knew this silence was not normal. This wasn't a delayed greeting. It was absent. Moore was ordered ashore. Joseph Moore rowed toward the island, the lighthouse looming above him like a stone sentinel. He climbed the steep steps carved into the cliff, each one slick with sea spray. At the top, he found the compound gate closed, but unlocked. The outer doors of the lighthouse were shut. Inside, the air was cold and still. The lamps had been cleaned and prepared for the night. Beds were unmade. The washing up was done. But the fire in the grate was cold. A clock had stopped. And in the kitchen, a chair lay overturned on the floor. It looked less like abandonment, and more like interruption. Moore searched the entire building. No sign of a struggle, no blood, no personal belongings out of place, and no sign of the men. He returned to the Hesperus and delivered a sentence no Lighthouse tender ever expects to hear. The station was empty. The last entry in the logbook was dated December 15th. Superintendent Robert Muirhead, who would later lead the investigation, had personally hired and met all three keepers. He had shaken their hands, spoken with them. He would later realize he was the last person known to see them alive. The mystery deepened when reports surfaced that on December 15th, the captain of the SS Archtor noted that the Island Moore's lighthouse was not visible. Sometime between that night and the arrival of the Hesperus 11 days later, the men vanished. No distress signals, no messages, no explanation. Just a darkened light and an empty tower. When investigators examined the island more closely, they found something critical at the western landing, the most exposed part of Eilean Mor. Iron railings were bent and twisted. Heavy equipment had been smashed. A massive 1-ton rock had been displaced. Turf was ripped away nearly 10 meters from the cliff's edge. This was not gradual erosion. It was sudden violence. Inside the lighthouse, 2 sets of oilskins were missing. One remained behind. Why would one man leave shelter without protective gear? That question has never been answered. As years passed, the mystery grew. Stories circulated of half-eaten meals left on tables, of logbook entries describing men praying in terror, of emotional breakdowns and supernatural encounters. Some claimed sea serpents, others whispered of foreign abduction. Some even spoke of voices carried on the wind. Over time, many of these stories were revealed to be fabrications or exaggerations, the product of rumor, poetry, and retelling. But removing the myths didn't make the case clearer. It made it colder. Because once the folklore fell away, only silence remained. Superintendent Muirhead ultimately concluded the men were victims of a tragic accident. According to his report, the keepers may have been attempting to secure equipment during severe conditions when a massive wave struck the western landing. One man was caught. Another rushed to help. The third followed. All 3 were swept into the Atlantic. It explained the damage. It explained the missing oilskins. But it required one thing. All 3 men leaving the lighthouse unattended. Something no experienced keeper was supposed to do. More recently, a speculative theory proposed by Keith McCluskey suggests a powerful wind vortex, a sudden downdraft shaped by the island's topography, may have swept the men over the cliffs. Others believe panic, misjudgment, or a chain reaction of split-second decisions sealed their fate. But no theory can explain every detail, and none can restore the final moments that were lost with them. Despite every investigation, despite every theory, despite the passage of more than a century, the fate of James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur remains officially unsolved. Their bodies were never recovered. In 1971, the lighthouse was automated. No keepers remain on Eilean Mor. The island returned to silence, but the light still shines, not as comfort, but as a reminder that even the safest places can become traps, and that sometimes the sea does not give back what it takes. And that's where this story ends. 3 men, 1 lighthouse, and no clear answers. James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur went to work on Eilean Mor, expecting isolation, danger, and long nights at sea, but not disappearance. Whatever happened on that island unfolded without witnesses, without records, and without closure. More than a century later, the lighthouse still stands. The light still shines, And the final moments of those three men remain lost to the Atlantic. So now I'll leave it with you. After everything you've heard, what do you think really happened on Island Moore? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy real mysteries like this, stories built on documented events, unanswered questions, and the uncomfortable space between logic and uncertainty, consider subscribing. More cases are on the way. Thanks for watching.